Hey everyone, it's Simon, and today we're talking about 5 things I look for when I'm purchasing gear. Alright, so when I'm looking at making new gear purchases, there's a lot of things I have to think about. A lot of people are looking at what's the capabilities of it, that kind of thing. People really knit into the tech specs. Because of the nature of my work, there's a lot of other things or things that I consider more highly than others. The first thing that I really think about is the size and weight of a piece of equipment. How much weight is it going to add to my kit? Some of my projects I'm very limited on bag weight, so I have to be very careful about it. So some of the things I've thought about is like when I bought a new tripod, how small can it break down, but how large does it get, while also being durable and how much weight can it hold? What I've been using is the Sure carbon fiber sticks and the Manfrotto 500 head with a little level ball plate in between. It's a fantastic little setup that holds the FS5 just perfectly. And then when it comes to cameras, I love the A7s because they're tiny. I love the FS5 because they're tiny, but they are also still very powerful cameras, which goes into the second thing that I look for in a piece of equipment, which is the capabilities of a piece of equipment. Can it do exactly what I need it to do when I'm out in the field? A perfect example of that is my most recent purchase, the Shinobi, the 5-inch monitor from Atomos. And that's because I've been looking for a monitor that was daylight viewable, but still small enough and light enough that I could take it with me overseas. This was finally a product, this was the first one I found that really fit my needs, that was out on market, and so obviously I jumped on that. The A7s have the 4K video capability. The A7 III has the really nice 4K video, but the 24 megapixel stills. The A7R III has the 42 megapixel stills. And then the FS5 is just a beast when it comes to mixing slow motion and then 4K video. And then things like my carbon fiber tripods, the lenses. Some lenses I take an F4 version of just because, yeah, it doesn't let in as much light, but it is a much smaller, still capable lens that allows me to do the job. That goes right into the third thing I look for is what is my battery life? So why I upgraded all of my cameras to the Generation 3 versions of the Sony A7s is because the new battery life is exponentially better than this Generation 2s. I had the A7S II and I would have to carry a ton of batteries just to get through a day. The third generation is a lot better. The FS5 is a workhorse camera that I can get through the day in usually 2 batteries. And that's the BPU 60s. And then when it comes to stabilization, one of my favorite tools is the Glide Cam because I don't even need a battery for it. It just does its thing, just kind of does it. Yeah. I do like the Ronin S, but again, if I run into a situation where I can't charge the battery for something, the gimbal is the first thing that's going to go because I can use something like a Glide Cam that doesn't require a battery. And that leads me into my next point, which is the build quality. One of the things I love about the Glide Cams is that they're basically indestructible. And also, especially with the Devon Supertramp version, it's really easy to adjust, which makes it really quick and easy on the fly for me to be able to make adjustments for things like lens changes, audio equipment changes, that kind of stuff. Just makes it really quick, but also I can jump off of that, go on to something else, and not worry about it. The A7s and the FS5 being the metal builds really just kind of helps me feel comfortable that I know that they are going to survive. Also, a lot of the Sony lenses have weather sealing built in, which makes it really great because I deal with a lot of dusty situations, rainy situations, that kind of stuff. Especially when I'm at home in New York, we have rain like 200 days a year or something absurd like that. My last point is that things have to be multi-purpose whenever possible. Am I able to use my tripod for other things? Yep. Do I use my lighting as flashlights? Yep. The A7s can shoot both stills and video, so I can carry around one camera at situations where I might not have the ability to carry 2 cameras. The monitors for the Shinobi I can use with any camera. It's not a specific thing. If I needed to, I could actually set down a camera on the glide cam and put some extra weight at the bottom to hold it, and then use that as almost like a tripod. And so anytime that I have a tool that can fulfill multiple jobs is huge. So that's what I think about when I'm looking at buying gear for what I do overseas. Have a great week. Be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment below with maybe something that you use to consider when buying gear that I haven't thought of.